Welcome back to Gardening on the West Coast, British Columbia. This is a garden update. We've moved up here, of course, from California and gardening like crazy. So in case you're not aware, we're no longer in California, but that's okay. Still putting stuff in the ground and watching it grow up here. So it's June 16th and I thought I'd give you a garden update. I saw a guy on my channel say that he's sorry we moved to Canada, British Columbia, Vancouver area. Worst growing climate ever. Well, you tell me, does this look like the worst growing climate ever? I planted this grass from seed, did the first mowing. Look at this stuff. Beautiful. And this is my garden. Let's see, June 16th. I probably planted the middle of May. This is probably 1 month in. And everything is growing amazing. And I'll take you for a little tour around. This is an area that I expanded this year because I want to plant grapes down here in the next year. So I brought in some more dirt, and for this year I wasn't ready to plant grapes, so I planted squash down here. In between the squash I threw in some radishes just recently because I figured they'll probably have enough room. In 20 to 30 days, that's all it takes usually for them to reach maturity, to harvest before the squash overrun them, because I put pretty good spacing. You want to put decent spacing between your squash to get good production. All different kinds of pumpkins, Cinderella pumpkins, Long Island cheese, Jerdale, I don't know, some kind of pink pumpkins, other kinds, squashes like butternut squash, spaghetti squash, yeah, all the good stuff. And I tried some cantaloupes and honeydews on this side. They've kind of slow growing. I'm afraid they might get overtaken by the squash. I have to thin down some more, but we'll see how they go. And then heading over to the garden, I moved some raspberries down here below the garden that we had in pots for a couple years. Not optimal since they've kind of been in pots for too long, but they'll come back. And have some grapes growing in pots that I'll plant next year. Guava tree, persimmon trees, apparently they grow really well and produce tons of fruit here on the West Coast. That's what my colleague at work just told me, so I'm kind of excited for that. But hey, check out this beautiful section of greens that I have growing here. Just amazing. Let's run down quickly. Have some garlic here right along the edge. Kind of weeded in. We'll have to clean that out. Since I hoed last time, have some weed growth again. Have to do some hoeing in the rows, but otherwise not too bad. Turnips. We have next beets and a turnip that jumped ship. And some more red beets. Back there we have some spinach. You see it's almost done. I've already harvested it. It's kind of going to seed now. So that's kind of a quick crop if you want some quick greens, but it's over and done. Then you can plant something else. I have some Swiss chard. I think that's just green Swiss chard back there. Yellow golden beets next row. They're looking beautiful. 2 rows of carrots. Look at that, coming up nicely. And then we have a row of that colorful Swiss chard. This stuff is real pretty and I love it. It's so good. And I think in the next row I planted here broccoli, half a row of broccoli and half a row of kohlrabi. So I'm not sure which half is which, I can't remember, but this is the bigger stuff right now, so I'm guessing this might be the broccoli. And we'll see how it produces, because usually you want to plant it earlier in the year when it's cooler. The broccoli, it will go to bolt really fast, not form a good head on it. We have a few different kinds of lettuce. And this leaf lettuce I plant close like this, so don't worry about heads, because we just chop it down and eat it, and then it regrows 2 or 3 times. This other stuff I'll thin down so it'll make heads, leaf lettuce, and those are some endives back there. They're kind of slow growing. Anyone ever grow endives before? I never have, so we'll see how they turn out. My dill, the first seeding failed, so I failed again. I planted again with new seed, and you see doing much better this time. Before they looked dead. These ones look way better. This is the kale that most people like, dinosaur kale. I don't know what the other name is, but it's the real dark stuff. It gets the deep dark green and wrinkly leaves. Red kale, the green crinkly leaf kale back there. Huge rows of peas. Now look, these are the bush peas. they're kind of self-supporting. They kind of intertwine and don't fall over. And then back there I have some supported peas. And then 2 rows of beans, yellow, burgundy, and green. And in the back I have some beans. I can't remember what kind they are, but they climb and they flower. I don't really like pole beans because you have to let them climb to produce a lot. But these ones produce edible flowers, so I got them to eat the flowers and the beans. And then green onions. These are the easiest things to grow on the face of the earth. And they grow really well and a great addition to your food. Back there, I have potatoes. My potato patch is growing pretty well. It's all blossoming right now, and I had that volunteer kale that I was thinning out. Still thinning it out, still coming up. You can see it in between there. This is the last section I really have to thin out, that volunteer kale. Look at that. Tomatoes. If you manage your tomatoes early in the year, it's easier when they're smaller, right? You break off all the lower leaves, and then they do better. You don't want leaves close to the dirt. And I put them on hills so that, you know, you can see they have room. The leaves can hang and they're further off from the ground. Also, drainage is good, and they don't get root rot. Oh, look at that. The first tomato right there. But he doesn't look like he's going to survive. It looks like it's breaking off the stem. Oh, well, maybe the plant's not ready yet, or something bumped it off. Oh, there's another one right there coming. Allergy season. And here's all my other squash, like zucchinis, different types of zucchinis, yellow, crookneck, green zucchini. I heard these yellow leaves indicate deficiency in iron. I'm not sure why it's just one hill and all the other ones look great. Like,